friends, I wanted to show you how to use the sewing cards that were included in your take-home bags this week. You had a sewing card with holes punched in it, some embroidery thread, a metal needle, and you also have a plastic one from a previous bag, and that would be okay to use too. And I also included this thing. This thing is called a needle threader. You don't need to use it, but if you'd like to, I will show you how. All right, so when we start this sewing project, we're gonna start by cutting our thread. We need to make sure we have enough thread. If we have too little thread, we will run out before we get to the end. I'm gonna try about my arm's length, and you can try yours. At school, we use the length of a table, like that, and I'm gonna cut, and we'll see how it goes. Once I've cut my thread, I am going to get it through the eye of the needle, and this is the needle threader. Here's a trick on how to use it. I'm gonna stick the needle threader through the eye of the needle all by itself. Now I have a nice big hole to put my thread in. Can you see that? And I can put my thread through the needle threader. And now when I pull the threader out, it pulls the thread along with it. And I have threaded my needle. One way at school, we tie this to keep it from coming off is to pull it all the way down so that we have two pieces of thread next to each other. Makes it extra strong. And we're gonna tie a knot at the bottom so that it doesn't come off. When we tie a knot, we're gonna make a little candy cane or a little, we usually say a little J. You can do this laying on the table, and you're gonna cross it over to make a loop. I'm gonna put the bottom of my thread through the loop and pull. If you need to do it again to make sure it stays, you can. And now my needle and thread are ready for sewing. I'm gonna start at the back of my sewing card so that you can't see my knot when I pull it in. So if I start at the back, I can see the holes, and I'm gonna pick one to put it in. It can be any one you want. And when you feel your knot hit, you stop pulling. Now I'm at the front of my card. So I'm not gonna go back to the back or my string will get wrapped around. I'm gonna go from the front back to the back through the hole and pull all the way till there's no more. Now I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm now in the back, so I'm gonna come through the back to the front. Now I'm at the front, from the front to the back to the front. You wanna make sure that you pull your thread all the way through so that you have enough to make it around. I might even run a little short. Front to the back to the front. Front to the back. Now I'm in the back. Where am I gonna go? To the front this way. I'll show you what would happen if I did that. Sometimes we wanna keep working on the front, and if we do that, we get thread around the outside, which is okay. It just uses up our thread faster. And if that happens, you can just pull your needle back, pop it back through the same hole backwards, and we'll go back to the front. Now we're on the front, so we go through the front to the back, through the back to the front. This is called a straight stitch. And now I'm on my last hole. And I had just enough thread, and I used my arm's length, so you might use the width of a table. That might be a good length. Now I'm on the back. If I just cut my needle off, my thread might come undone, so I'm gonna tie another knot. do some knot tying practice on another day. And I can use the end of my needle to help me tie this knot. I'm just gonna put my needle through, pull it up. To make my knot stay close to the bottom, I'm gonna push down on it, and then I can snip it off and I won't lose my thread. Save this needle for your sewing kit. We can use it for something else. You can save it in a small container, like that, or in a pin cushion, and save your thread for another project. You have a couple of these cards, but you can make some of your own. Paper is pretty easy to practice sewing through, and they look really neat when you're done. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you soon.